So this is my eldest daughter's bedroom. Every time my wife posts a photograph on Instagram, we get lots of questions asking us how we did it. So I thought I'd do a quick video explaining how we did it. This room is 2.4 meters from there to there and 2.6 meters from there to there. You could just about get a bed in here, which took out roughly half the room, and we got a chest of, a wardrobe in the alcove here, and a chest of drawers and a very small desk here, but that was literally all you could get in the room. So what we did, we took the ceiling away from this room and went up into the loft. We put a false floor in the loft, and then we plasterboarded the walls and this part of the roof to make basically a loft room up there, which is where my daughter's got a double bed now, whereas before she only had space for a single bed down here. To access the loft room, what we made, because we own a crate company, we made some stairs from crates. They're very strong, and it served the other purpose of creating storage space and wardrobe space. As you can see, we used the wardrobes as stairs to gain access to the upper part of the room now. These are very cheap and easy to make, and as I said before, we own a crate company, so it's even easier for us, but anybody could make these just the same. So I'll show you now how we get up into the loft part of the room. Just go up these stairs. There's no headroom up here because it's just the way the house was built. But as you can see, there's enough space for a double bed. So you can have a TV. In the corner over there, there's space. We've put another hatch into the remainder of the loft because we've only used half of the loft, so we've still got loft space over there. As you can see, this is where we plasterboarded the roof, and that goes down into the room down there. This room actually had a loft hatch in it. It was the only room in the house that had a loft hatch, which made it very easy for us whilst we were constructing it, because we could do most of the work up here through the hatch, and then the very last thing we could just remove the rest of the ceiling. So basically the ceiling that we removed was here. You can see that area has been removed. We couldn't take out this part. This was the only part of the loft that was structural. All the beams that were going across here were just all they did were literally hold up the plasterboard for the ceiling. They weren't even attached at the ends. They were just resting on metal rafters. But this one has got over here behind the wall, it's got a pillar on this beam, it's a double beam, so it's structural, and that's what's holding up part of the roof. So we couldn't remove that. All we did was basically we cut some very thin wood and we've cladded it around the ugly beam that was there. It was like the old loft beams that you see in new build houses these days. So that's just been cladded, and we've left it there and tried to make a feature of it. We've put the light on it, and my wife's wrapped some fake ivy around it just to try and make it look a bit prettier. Here on the side where the ceiling met the wall, when we took that away, it left a gap where the floor is. So we've used laminate flooring. We just found some old offcuts of laminate flooring in Homebase, and we just bought those like £1 each, and they look really good actually. They match in really well. The old loft hatch, the original loft hatch, was here in this area here, and this was just the angle of the roof, and it was covered with insulation. So all we've done is literally plasterboarded. We've pulled the insulation that was here in this part, we've moved it up into behind this plasterboard here, and we've plasterboarded it so it's nice and warm still, and all the insulation that was here is actually up there now instead. So in very simple terms, basically this here is a stud wall with insulation behind it and plasterboard in front of it. This here is also a stud wall with it's insulated and plasterboarded. This was the original wall of the house, so that has just been dot and dabbed straight onto that wall. And the same on this side. This headboard, we've done it as a feature, but there was actually a drainage pipe in the back, which that hides quite nicely and creates a nice headboard feature as well. This wall again was dot and dabbed, so we just plasterboarded straight onto the brick wall. That's a party wall, so that goes through to our neighbour's house. The ceiling in here is there was rafters again holding the tiles up on the roof. So all we've done is we've moved the insulation from the floor up to no, actually, sorry, I tell you, like, we bought some more insulation and we've put that between the rafters, and then we've plasterboarded over the top of that, and then just filled all the joints and rubbed them down. On the floor we've just used tongue and groove chipboard. They were very long sheets. I think they were 3 meters by 600 sheets. So we've just put them down, put them down very carefully, and kept them very level. And then we've just linoed over the top of those. There's insulation underneath them as well. Because of the height of the room, we found it better to, we basically made a pallet bed, which was very low, so that it doesn't take up any headroom. So basically by doing this we doubled the floor space. So basically what's up there is the same size again as what's down here. So now all the bed and the TV and all that kind of stuff's up there, and gives all this space down here. So the whole thing probably took, I would say in total, about 6 weeks. It didn't help, like just after we started I managed to put my back out, so that delayed things a bit. But I mean, to be honest, it's, you know, at best I would say I'm a good handyman. I'm not a builder by any means. If you've got even, you know, half decent handyman skills, I'm sure you could do this yourself quite easily. If anyone's got any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them in the comments. If you're thinking about having a go at doing this for yourself, I'd say go for it. It's fairly straightforward, fairly simple. Please like the video if you found it useful, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.